D4, G6, the opening moves of this titled Tuesday game between Magnus Carlsen with black and Andrew Hong with white, a 19-year-old teenager from the United States. This is an absolute belter. Hold on to your seats. This is e4 and Magnus goes d6. So we're into a modern defense here. We get knight c3, c6 on the board and f4. One of the most aggressive setups for white. Apparently called the modern defense, rat defense, accelerated Gurgenidze variation. In case you want to go and learn the theory. So d5 from Magnus, allowing white this huge space gain. Why would he do that? Well, h5, he wants to play on some light squares here. Knight f3, bishop g4 in keeping with the themes, bishop e3 and e6. Magnus just one pawn move away over here from completing a side quest on chess.com. Put all your pawns on light squares and rumour has it you unlock a meal for two with Danny Wrench, chief chess officer at chess.com. So h3 now played, puts the question to the bishop. Magnus chops, queen recaptures and h4 secures the knight outpost, but not ideal if you're going for that meal for two. So bishop d3 now played, knight h6 heading for the promised land, knight e2 now. Why would you head backwards? Are you a wuss? Well, no. Now the pawns are going to get rocking and rolling on the queen side. So bishop e7, get your bits out. Castle's now played and a5 from Magnus. Because obviously, right, rook's pawns are made to be pushed. That's what he's shown us. Now b3, not forced but played. You could just start with c4, but Andrew goes for this one. Now we get knight a6 and a3 would be prudent here. Because after the immediate c4, explosive move, hope you enjoy the dad jokes, Magnus now gets to hop with his steed. It kicks back the bishop. You'd love to go a3, but a4 comes and you're just not in time. Because now if you push a3, expecting the knight to retreat and then b4, well, you take on b3 as black. No time to take here, you're losing this rook down in the corner. So Andrew's not in time. He goes bishop d2, pressuring the knight, maybe then going to bounce around here, support the rook, prepare a3, but Magnus takes immediately. Queen recaptures. We've just discussed the pin on the a file, and now this is nice. The knight's under huge pressure, but what does Magnus do? He chucks in this takes on c4. Queen recaptures, and wow, what a square. He's freed up for the knight on d5. And huge pressure now on this backwards d4 pawn. So queen b3, hits b7, Magnus goes b5, b6 also playable, queen b6, different games, and now real nice manoeuvring from Andrew. He starts with bishop e4, castle's played and queen c2. Double threats on the board, c6 pressured, the g6 pawn to generate some huge attack. Queen e8 very playable now, but knight f5 selected by Magnus, a much more dynamic move, because after queen takes on c6 we get b4, and for the cost of the pawn Magnus is activating. So rook fc1 hits the open file. Magnus goes rook a3, and look at the invasion along the third rank. Some lovely dark squared entry points. He's sitting on the head of this pawn, as I like to say here. And now what should white do? Well, the best way to go is take off this pesky knight, pressuring the center, and then go rook c2. But rook c2 immediately played, and check out Magnus's tactical awareness, his prowess. This is more beautiful than one of the most recent pictures from WGM Nemo. Look at that, a chess warrior princess. Magnus finds this stunning tactic of knight takes on f4. Well done if you were able to come up with that one. Now, why would you give an entire piece which can be taken by two other pieces? Well, in the game we see bishop takes here, but what if knight takes? We immediately see the tactical point. This one's not covered. Queen d4 check, king goes, you pick up a rook. You're in exchange ahead. This is the big problem with rook c2 undefended rook plus this knight looming. So in the game we see bishop takes, but now Magnus can't take with the queen, knight covers, so he takes with this knight, forking the queen and rook. And again, if knight takes, there's queen takes with check, picking up a loose rook. So the queen comes to c4 here, Magnus takes on e2 with check, and this is absolutely awesome. Surely, right, you take with the rook. Andrew didn't do this. We've gone to the back cave. This is analysis mode. Because now, there's no more queen d4 check, picking up the rook. But there is queen b6 check. King goes, and now there's rook c3. And amazingly, that queen, out of nowhere, is checkmated, trapped. What do? Bishop e3 best move to counterattack, but you're shedding a piece. Taking here is actually the top way. You can get a line like this. Magnus emerges a pawn ahead. Opposite coloured bishops, but still good for black. So, we didn't see rook takes. Playable, different line, but this one was played instead. Allowing queen d4 check, king goes, rook drops, but queen g4. This was the thumbnail picture here. Where has this epic attack just sprung from? What a player this guy is, Andrew Hong. Now there is one move and only one move to give black a very significant advantage, which you're seeing with the evaluation bar. Again, if you want to pause, look for the idea, do go for it. The way to play, if you're just here to enjoy the show, as Agad Mehta would say, is queen to d4. You hit this bishop, and if it takes on g6, then there's this rook g3 idea. Very, very nice. Hitting the queen, which is threatening the check. So if bishop takes, then there's this in-betweener. Tactical stuff, I know. But obviously then you can get a line like this. This is the top engine line. You chuck with check. These ones come off the board. Black emerges a bishop up. This is the kind of thing going on, right? So queen d4, the move. But Magnus goes queen e1. Same kind of theme. Really nice idea. If bishop takes, rook g3. Same problems, of course, with the queen hit. Bishop captures. Where are we? Bishop captures, then the queen, takes with check, and you actually have to take the queens off, or the king's checkmated. You pick up a bishop, black is winning. So that was Magnus's idea. But watch this from young Andrew Hong, 19 years old. He picks up his rook on c2, leans forward as he moves it here, and whispers, "Zwischenzug, Magnus," because he's chucked in this in-betweener that Magnus has missed. What a move. The queen can no longer take this bishop here. It can't come here anymore. The rook's forcing it away, and now you crash through. The variation's completely different. Magnus should just take now. Resign himself to the fact that this should be a perpetual check. But he wants to keep playing, so he goes rook g3. The same idea, but there's a big problem. Bishop takes, pawn takes check, queen takes, pawn takes, queen takes check. But this time, it's not just a perpetual, unless you want to wuss out. But no, Andrew Hong doesn't do that. He goes rook e4. He smells blood. He wants to take down the world #1. So what to do here? You're getting hunted. If you try rook f5, then this check comes. You can't run. You get mated like this. And if you try and intercept with the rook, well, then you're losing pieces. This is a winning endgame. Here's an example. You can even swap the queens, bring the king in, and this two passed pawns over here gonna win the day, right? So that was the way to go. Sorry, that wasn't the way to go. As in, whatever you do, you're getting busted. What Magnus did was queen f5. Rook g4 check was played, and it forces the king to f7. The rook slides back to f4. The queen is dropping. We get queen takes with check. This queen recaptures. King e8, queen c4, targeting the e6 pawn. Magnus is going to fight, of course. We've seen stranger things. In fact, I'll link a game at the end on that point. Now we get h4. Great play. Run the passed pawns. Push them, baby. Rook d8 activating. G3, rook d5, and check, defending the pawn. H5, they're rumbling. Rook A5 from Magnus, going for this one. Andrew doesn't care, he wants the initiative. Takes with check. King H3, Rook A1, looking for some check action if you push H7. But Queen E4, Andrew is too astute. He covers the H1 square. He looks to check. King F7 now covers the Queen G6 invasion. We get Pawn H7, the King runs in, but now check. Andrew switching plans here, picking up this pawn. The bishop hit. It's covered with the rook. The king marches in. You've got to activate in the endgame. King G7, King F5, Bishop F8 now played. Queen G6 check, the king stumbles back, Queen E8, it's brutal, it's relentless. Andrew just up on the clock here. We get King G8 and E6, keeping this rook honest, or else the queen starts checking. So King G7 played. Queen B5 now, and Magnus cracks under the pressure, blunders. What if he goes, say, Bishop E7 here? We're in analysis mode, you know, tries to hold steady. Well, you can go Queen B6. The rook can't stay on the rank. Then you have to go, and there are lines like this where you check and invade with the queen. You're in a world of pain, right? So coming back here, even if you try and hold it with something solid, doesn't work. Instead, we see Rook C7, but now this simple check. Double attack, you're picking up the rook. Magnus Carlsen resigns or loses on time. One or the other. What a game from Andrew Hong. And this actually ruined my chess profit prediction. Because Magnus, of course, I expected to win. Get me 3 points. Look at the prizes you can win, by the way, from this chess profit thing. Very good fun. You can play it every Tuesday, early, late edition. It's just good fun, right? Trying to predict how the games will turn out, and not always easy. If you want to see another epic game of chess from Magnus with some crazy queen sacrifice stuff going on, or queen blunder, depending what you say, check out the video on screen. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you soon.